He was meant to be the next Pele, a footballing prodigy, a showman, a king in the making. But somewhere along the journey, the crown slipped. This is the story of Neymar Jr., the artist, the icon, and the tragedy. This is Behind the Jersey. Born in Mogi das Cruzes, Brazil, Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. was dribbling a football before he could even write his name. Raised in poverty, he learned flair in the favelas, where tricks weren't optional, they were survival. At just 17, he broke into Santos FC's first team, dazzling with his raw talent. He wasn't just another Brazilian talent, he was the talent. By 19, he had already won the South American Footballer of the Year. Brazil believed he was the one. Pele even said so. Clubs across Europe begged for him, but Neymar waited. He didn't want to leave before giving Santos a Libertadores title, and he did. His 2013 transfer to Barcelona marked the beginning of his global domination. He joined forces with Messi and Suarez, forming the deadly MSN trio, and they didn't just win, they devoured defenses. Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Neymar was flying. But deep down, he wasn't satisfied with just being part of the trio. He wanted his own kingdom. Off the pitch, Neymar became a brand. Beats by Dre, Nike, Gillette, Red Bull. Brazil's golden boy had become a global superstar. But with fame came pressure and noise. His father became his agent. Money talks became louder than legacy. Neymar wasn't just playing football anymore. He was navigating lawsuits, tax investigations, and media storms. The pressure began to weigh heavily. Headlines were no longer about his brilliance, but about his parties, his injuries, his friends, and his distractions. And so, in 2017, he made the decision. A $263 million bombshell. Neymar became the most expensive player in football history when he moved to Paris Saint-Germain. The reason? He wanted to step out of Messi's shadow, to win the Ballon d'Or on his own terms. At first, it worked. He was the main man. The league feared him. Goals, assists, nutmegs, Neymar was box office. But then came the injuries. The same foot, over and over again. Every February, he'd vanish from the pitch. And every season, the same questions returned. Where's Neymar? And while he was sidelined, a new star was rising. Kylian Mbappe, the teenage sensation who won the World Cup. The boy who grew into a monster, and took over Paris. PSG was no longer Neymar's kingdom. It belonged to Mbappe. Neymar, once the leader, was now questioned by his own fans. Booed, criticized, labeled a flop, too fragile, too focused on fame. The 2020 Champions League final was his shot at redemption, but PSG lost. Neymar cried. The chance to prove the world wrong had slipped again. Neymar dreamed of winning the World Cup, like every Brazilian child. In 2014, he was knocked out, literally. A knee to the back fractured his spine. Brazil fell apart without him. 7-1 against Germany. Their darkest night. In 2018, he was back, but far from 100%. Brazil exited in the quarters. And Neymar was mocked for his diving, not praised for his brilliance. 2022 was supposed to be different. He scored one of the goals of the tournament. He cried when Brazil advanced. But in the quarterfinal against Croatia, another heartbreak. Penalty shootout, elimination, and Neymar, again, watched it all fall apart. He left the field in tears. How many times can one man rebuild himself before he gives up? In 2023, Neymar made a move few expected. To Saudi Arabia, to Al Hilal, a league still growing, still developing, far from the spotlight. Some say it was a cash grab. Others say it was a surrender. Whatever the reason, the dream, of winning the Ballon d'Or, of becoming Brazil's undisputed king, now feels out of reach. Neymar is only 32, but his story already feels like an ending. So what is Neymar's legacy? Over 400 career goals. Copa Libertadores, Champions League, Olympic gold, top scorer for Brazil, tied with Pele. On paper, it's world class. But the feeling, the emotion, is of a career unfulfilled. The injuries, the pressure, the distractions, they stole something from him. And maybe, from all of us. Because Neymar didn't just play football. He danced with it. He was the king without a kingdom, the artist without a canvas, the story without an ending. But even in his silence, the world still watches and remembers. This was behind the jersey.